welcome to the Square's one and only radio station. I'm your host. Today is Sunday, August 7th, 2011, and we are in Piney Point, Maryland, with a high of 87 and a low of 67. There will be no rain today. Also, it is National Lighthouse Day. So, to all our guests, I encourage you to go appreciate your local lighthouse and maybe go and visit its museum. I do suggest that you stay and listen to the show first, though. The boss has insisted that I get to his request today, but don't worry, we will still have Paradise Lost afterwards. Let's get to the show. Vampires. Vampires? I thought I wasn't allowed to talk about this. Well, it is the boss's request, so I guess this is an exception. Anyways, vampires are incredibly popular in fictional media, but the media isn't consistent in its depictions of vampires. That leaves us with the question, what were they actually like? Vampires originated from Eastern Europe, and yes, their diet consisted entirely of blood. Evidence suggests that they do not rely solely on human blood, but we don't know what percentage of the average vampire's diet was made up of human blood. One of the biggest misconceptions that's still around today is that vampires infected human beings and turned them into vampires. This is untrue. Vampires are simply very similar in appearance to humans. It is theorized that they evolved this way to make hunting humans easier. This theory does give credit to the theory that human blood was the majority of their diet. The differences outside of their diet include their incredible regeneration, strength, speed, and sense of smell. In fact, they have regeneration so potent that the only ways to kill a vampire were to either stab them directly in the heart, decapitate them, or burn their bodies with fire. Also, vampires reported to be weakened by sunlight, garlic, and holy symbols. It is also widely believed that the conflicting reports of other fantastical things they can do was due to individual vampires having an additional supernatural ability. There were some who could shapeshift to animals, others who could hypnotize, and others who could mute their surrounding area. Just to name a few, you may have noticed the use of past tense. Well, unfortunately, vampires are extinct. By the late 1800s, vampires had extended their range to most of Europe and parts of North America. In the 1900s and the 1910s, they were discovered in various communities, and a large number of vampire hunts were executed. These hunts led to vampires being critically endangered. It is theorized that the population was making a recovery when in the 1980s and the 1990s there was a mass hiring of hunters to wipe out the remaining population. The identity of the person and or persons hiring these hunters is unknown. And to add to the mystery, the employer of these hunters always knew where all these groups of vampires were hiding out. In the end, this renewed hunting led to the extinction of a species. Um, the note. The boss left a note with this request. Dear bookstore owner, I hope you remember just what I've done for you. This radio program is meant to be a morale booster, not a place where you can throw a temper tantrum like a child. You choose to be here, and you can leave at any time. Though I hope this also reminds you of what's waiting for you if you do. You are to come to my office immediately. Close your store for the day. I will be waiting. Oh, uh, let's move on. We've spent the last two broadcasts focused on Helen Satan, but what about the being Satan is fighting against? Let's see what God is doing during all this. The Almighty Father sat on the highest point of heaven, where he could bend down and see all of his creations. Next to him sat his Son. As they watched earth and the parents of all mankind, though they weren't parents quite yet, he watched as his newest creations enjoyed the garden he made for them to its fullest. He also watched as Satan coasted on exhausted wings down to limbo. Now God could see the past, the present, and the future, so he knew exactly what Satan was up to. Son, see how rage carries our adversary. No bonds or gates or chains, nor any abyss, no matter how vast, can stop it. He is only focused on getting his desperate revenge. That will come back to bite him. Now he will make his way to Earth, and he will try to tempt mankind in eating from the tree of knowledge. He will succeed, and he thinks this will cause me to turn my back on them. But I won't. I will give them mercy. When God spoke, heaven was filled with the scent of ambrosia. Father, what gracious words. You can't just let your newest creation be tricked by a fraud, shouldn't let the adversary achieve his goal and fulfill his malice, get his revenge, and draw all of mankind to hell. Will you destroy your creation? You shouldn't. Your greatness and your goodness would be questioned and blasphemed without defense. Oh, my son, light of my life, you said exactly what I was thinking. Man shall not be lost. I will guide them back to me, even after they have been enthralled by sin to foul and exorbitant desires. I will give them the Holy Spirit. But if man is disloyal, him and his children must pay for that crime unless someone takes the punishment for them. Which of you will become mortal to redeem them for their crime and bring justice? Who in heaven is willing to be the sacrifice? All of the heavenly choir stood mute, none stepped forward. None dared to put their lives in the line, and mankind was surely doomed, had the Son of God not spoken up. Behold, life for life, I offer myself to face the punishment. He spoke boldly. After all, he truly loved mankind. Thank you, my son. I shall send you down there when the time is right. The multitude of angels shouted with a joy that rang throughout heaven like a chorus of bells as they began to sing a song of praise. Meanwhile, Satan had landed in limbo. There wasn't much there except for the wide open gray fields, so he walked through the fields, searching for his prey. After a while, he reached a gate made of diamonds and gold. Behind this gate was a set of stairs that ascended higher and higher till they were out of sight. This was the gate to heaven, a gate he could not enter. For now, he told himself. For now. He stood at the foot of these stairs, looking past the gate for a moment before he turned around. To his astonishment, he could see not only all of Limbo, but also all of the new world God had created. It was like cresting a hill to see the end of the journey was in sight, but any sense of relief was quickly dissipated by the envy that clawed at his chest. All this for a brand new creation. They deserved the destruction he would bring, he told himself. He flew down smoothly, past billions of stars, to land on Earth. Here it was noon, and in the distance, he spotted an angel who luckily had his back turned to him. The angel shone with a brilliant golden light, a gold tiara on their head framing the beautiful curls that cascaded down their back past their 3 pairs of gorgeous wings. Satan was excited. He was one step closer to his goal, but he couldn't approach the angel looking like he had just crawled out of hell. Instead, he took the shape of a cherubim. He approached the angel to find that it was the archangel Uriel, one of the 7 who worked closest with God. Uriel! You get to stand in God's high throne room, right? That's amazing. I heard you get to see all his newest creations. I really want to see all his wonderful creations, but I especially want to see man. I hear man is his chief delight. I simply must see them. Please tell me where man is so I can admire God's works. Satan's disguise was perfect. It could have fooled anyone but God himself, and it certainly fooled Uriel. Uriel's smile shone bright enough to rival the sun at the cherubim's request. Fair angel, your desire to know the work of God is admirable. Works are truly wonderful. I had the privilege of watching God bring light to this world with just his words. I saw him make the stars and the moon and the earth. He also made paradise for man. Uriel pointed into the distance. If you fly that way, you won't miss it. Satan bowed and took off, following the directions. Satan is one step closer to paradise. I can't find out what happens next. I guess everyone will just have to tune in for the next podcast, and I hope you aren't in too much trouble, bookstore owner. I'm sorry. Until then, you'll hear from me again. Yesterday, today, tomorrow, and the rest of your lives. Goodbye.